Today's episode of BIFA TV is sponsored by CNS. Streamline your cross-border operations, consolidate movements, and manage tasks efficiently in one place.
Good morning and welcome back to BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information. Today's episode is once again What the Papers Say, and we're joined by Ian Matheson for this week's roundup of the news. So, Ian, thank you so much for joining us this morning. How are you?
Very good, thank you, Brooke, and I hope you are too.
Yep, no, all good. Have you been enjoying the sun recently?
I certainly have. I love a heat wave, and any excuse for a cold drink and a barbecue.
Oh, of course, of course.
But anyway, joking aside, Brooke, the heat waves and other extreme weather events can put pressure on supply chains, as you know.
Mhm.
Melting tarmac, warped rail lines, as well as personnel who cannot work on full power, can all make logistics that much slower.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I guess it's not welcomed by everyone, is it?
No, not at all.
Mhm.
Anyway, on to more serious news. Transport Intelligence issued a stark warning that the remainder of 2025 might not be looking so good for the freight forwarding sector. It
Mhm.
says that recovering demand and supply chains face slowing momentum, rising tariffs, and forecasts that the market will contract by just over 1% this year. And that leaves the sector facing lower growth, potentially tighter margins, and greater pressure on global trade lanes.
And that's both air and sea freight as well, isn't it, Ian?
That's correct. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
correct, Brooke. TI says that the market is entering a more defensive phase as freight forwarders grapple with a shrinking pool of cargo and rising operational complexities.
Mhm. So, when we're kind of looking at the industry as a whole, you wouldn't say that good times are coming?
No, not for a while. News that the increased US tariffs on Chinese goods have been postponed for another 90 days until November the 10th means that those operational complexities look set to stay.
Mhm.
Lars Jensen, the guy who works for container shipping consultancy Vespucci Maritime, made some interesting comments about the tariff postponement. He suggests that whilst US importers and their supply chain and logistics partners can plan for the next peak season with a little more certainty, there may be another cliff edge as US retailers and manufacturers front load procurement later in the year.
Mhm.
But at the same time, the US National Retail Federation predicted that US imports for the last 4 months of 2025 will show a sharp year over year decline. And it says that this is due to a combination of the front loading that took place at the end of 2024 due to the US dock labour concerns, as well as this year's early peak summer season, which was driven by tariff deadlines, as you know.
I've also read as well that quite a lot of people are now using the Arctic Ocean for kind of quicker routes into Europe, aren't they?
Well, I think I would say it's quite a lot. It's certainly quite a few people are thinking about it, and that
Mm.
Arctic summer navigation is now underway. And a Chinese shipping company called New Shipping is
Mhm.
expanding the service that it started in 2023. In
Yeah.
2024, it made 13 northern sea route voyages, transporting around 20,000 containers, and it is said it's expecting to increase that number this year.
Yeah, I think the report said that they're limited to kind of 4 or 5 months between July and November, right now anyway.
Yeah, that's right. But the present container shipping period for the Arctic is between July and November. But
Yeah.
I know that I've read quite a lot of reports that Chinese companies are aiming to launch year-round routes via the Northern Sea route by 2030, and that
Mhm.
could be a game changer in the Far East to Europe shipping trade.
Yeah, of course. It'll be interesting to see kind of how that pans out.
Yeah, Brooke, it will. A bit like Heathrow's third runway, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, changing the subject completely, I don't think that anybody goes to work with the idea that they might get seriously injured or even killed.
No, no, I'm not sure they do.
Well, I say that, Brooke, because new research has revealed that transport and storage workers are among the worst affected by
Mm.
workplace injuries, with around 1 in 42 workers hurt each year. That recent health and safety executive report highlighted over 600,000 total cases
Wow.
of work related injuries and 38,000 of them among transportation and storage workers.
Mm. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised by that figure. It's quite a physical job, especially when, like you said, you're looking at those storage workers.
Yeah, that's right, Brooke. Manual handling, of course, with lifting heavy and awkward items,
Yeah.
accounts for a large percentage of all injuries, according to the report.
Mhm. Yeah, it's definitely one that health and safety executives within members, it's something that they should read. So we'll pop a link to that in the description.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Turning to some service news, I noticed this week is that One Air is to start a scheduled two-way freighter operation
Mhm.
using a Boeing 747-400 freighter connecting East Midlands Airport, Liège, Dubai World Central, and Hong Kong.
Yeah, I know that the report said it will start on the 2nd of September, so it's coming pretty soon, and with 4 scheduled flights a week.
That's right, Brooke, and no doubt be interested to of interest for members who are operational in the air freight arena.
Hmm.
At the same time, do you recall in the last episode that I mentioned we are in the so-called silly season as far as the media is concerned?
Yes, I do indeed. It's one of my favourite times of year. It's when the more kind of fun stories hit the headlines, shall we say.
Well, that's right, Brooke. A couple have caught my eye this week. Chris Lewis is an old friend of BIFA, and a lot of your viewers will probably know him.
Yeah.
And he's well known in the industry as the editor of the Freight Business Journal. And he's got on his bike to raise money for various charities.
Yep.
His so-called three pubs challenge saw him complete a 70-odd mile circuit of pubs in Sussex, Kent, and Greater London, raising money for TransAid, the Royal Marsden Cancer Charity, and Second Chance Animal Rescue.
Mhm. Yeah, I know it's certainly a great challenge for those charities. So we wish them all the best.
Yeah, I'll pass on in Beefer's congratulations, and
Yeah.
obviously any generous viewers that would like to sponsor Chris can do so at his Just Giving page.
Yeah, we'll pop that in the description as well.
Brilliant. And there's one last story that I'm sure will be of interest to your viewers that are keen on water sports. Yeah, that's Austrian forwarder Gebruder Weiss is supporting a sports enthusiast and an environmental activist called Michael Volta, who is attempting a solo, unsupported Atlantic crossing on a stand-up paddleboard.
Right.
Yeah, in September he plans to depart from Portugal and will attempt to paddle all the way to French Guiana. And Gebruder Weiss is managing the transport of his custom-built board to his point of departure and will also handle its return.
Right. Well, by the sounds of it, it's coming up soon, so it will certainly be an interesting one to watch play out.
Yeah, I guess it will be. Yeah, yeah. Good luck to him, I say.
Oh yeah, good luck indeed. I'm sure he'll need it by the sounds of it. Right, well, on that note, Ian, thank you so much for this update as always. I'm sure that our members will find it of use.
It's a pleasure as always, Brooke.
Mhm. As always, we will put the links to all of the articles we've discussed today in the description below for any of our members who want to have a further read. That's all for today's edition of BIFA TV, your daily dose of industry information.
Today's episode of BIFA TV is sponsored by CNS. Streamline your cross-border operations, consolidate movements, and manage tasks efficiently in one place.